This march is a march against racism, police brutality. We're fed up with a system that is not working for us.
Okay, everybody get your red flags. We're about to start. It's always inspiring to march on May Day. Power to the working class.
You really feel like a good bond with everyone. You're all out there marching.
A world I dream, where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth, and every man is free. Of such we dream, our world. Thank you.
We're here from Chicago. We're here from DC. We're here from Baltimore. We're here from Boston. Brooklyn is in the house, okay? I would like to welcome each and every one of you to May Day. Ever since September 11th, these bosses have instituted more and more fascist laws. They have jailed more and more Muslim workers. They have put into place what they are going to use fascism and terrorism to attack our class. This makes this May Day even more important.
We're gonna keep on marching till the workers win the fight.
Por una sociedad mucho mejor de esta que está podrida, una sociedad de igualdad, una sociedad comunista.
May Day, May 1st, declared the workers' holiday, resembling someday when we'd eventually take away control from the hands of a select few and give it back to everyone from me to you. From me to you, from us to we. On May Day we stand in all solidarity.
How's everybody feel out there? Why you came here today? Y'all ain't making no noise. I don't hear you. How about people in the back? All right, all right. I was raised in reform, and I was raised with the idea that this country and this system could be reformed. But I tell you, if communism is a system, will there be no more racism? And if communism is a system, will there be no more sexism, no more homophobia, no more marginalization of the poor, no more splitting of the working classes, pitting and fighting against one another, while those on top continue to succeed, then I say bring on communism! Bring it on now! Our people need it!
This is the Progressive Labor Party's May Day March. We're fighting for communism, international working class power. I gotta look at him. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, it's what I just found out today that it is a march for laborers and to put down capitalism and bring communism back so everybody is equal.
My friends here and all of us, we out here today to fight against capitalism.
This is a march when workers of all so-called races and nationalities and ages and backgrounds come together to fight for one thing, the March for Communist Revolution.
At this point, I'm exploring communism, and whatever I decide, I'm always going to be an activist, and I'm always going to fight towards change. Is communism my avenue? I'm not sure. I'm investigating.
Capitalism means fight back! Capitalism means fight back! We got to 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 fight back!
When you think about communism in the future, after we win, after the revolution, do you think life would be different?
It had to be, man. If we fight for something, it had to be fighting for a difference, fighting for something, the world to be different. But that's the thing about this movement here. We're trying to figure out what we're fighting for and how we're going to go about it and how we're going to do it. So we need everyone's input. We need everyone to be involved. And that's a great feeling in this march. And on the buses, too. We got a lot of dialogue going and stuff like that. It's a beautiful day, man. It's beautiful. Look at the sun. Look at the sun.
I believe life will be much better. There won't be a rich class or a poor class. Everybody will be considered equal.
Basically, we're calling for a communist society built by, ran by workers in the interest of workers.
Oh, yes. Life will be more different. There will be more services for people, and we will have more chance for real education.
Life will be different because it's not class exploiting class. It's not people exploiting people.
I think it'll be 100% different because we will be doing things based on people's needs instead of doing things based on profits for a small group of rich people.
I think it'll absolutely make a big difference because for the first time in the history of the world, millions of people will work collectively together, not for themselves or individually, but for the common good of everybody.
It'll be a healthy society, production for need, not for profits, no rich, no poor, no racism, no sexism. That's the future we need.
I'm surrounded by good people, caring people, loving people, and there's no hatred here.
I think everyone will be colorblind, and that's what's important.
I think we're going to have a lot of things to work on, and I think it's going to take years for us to fix the things that are wrong now. It takes a long time. But if we run society, you can bet your bottom dollar, well, no dollars when we have communism, right? But you can bet your bottom dollar that, we're going to have a much better chance of having a society that will provide the things that we need.
Will challenge tellers please come and get your challenges? We want to get as many challenges as we possibly can out to the streets today. We don't want to go home with one challenge.
The weather's perfect. A lot of people that I invited, they came, and it feels really good. It strengthens me.
It feels good, and I will do it again.
This is also my first march, and it feels good to see all these people fighting for the same cause.
It's a beautiful feeling because you got the young participating. The young gonna lead the future. The young gonna lead the future of our struggle.
It feels great. I love May Day. It's wonderful. It's like this is our day.
Oh, it's awesome. I look forward to this every year. May Day's the Workers' Day.
I've been coming here for 14 years. 14 years or more. And it's a fight for a good cause.
It's really exciting just to see the energy and the dedication of everybody marching and, just the belief that, they come year after year, but they feel very strongly that eventually they'll be heard.
The spirit is high, and I feel good about the future of our movement.
It feels really good to be a part of something this big.
My very dear friend, Karen over there, she invited me to come. She takes a class at Chicago State University, and her professor brought a lot of the students and things down here. So she was like, for your birthday, I'll pay for your trip to come to D.C. And I'm like, oh, great, okay. I had no idea that I was even coming to a march or anything. And then when we got there, we got on the bus and they started talking about it. It was a concept I'd heard of, but I didn't know very much about. And, after hearing everybody talk about it and what it is and what it means, I was really, really happy. And it's actually turned out to be a really cool birthday present.
1, 2, 3. 3, 4. We will fight your imperialist war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Smash the bosses and their state.
Imperialist war represents one of the greatest contradictions of modern capitalism. And during the imperialist war, you see some of the largest amounts of killings of workers. So part of the fight against the increasing horror of capitalism is a fight to turn the guns around, to win working class soldiers, to not fight in the bosses' wars for profit, but to fight for communist revolution.
They say it's about humanitarian need. It's all about oil. The bosses don't give a damn about workers' lives. They never have. And they're dropping bombs.
We have the power if we only choose to use it. We got to stand up, use that power. If you don't, our kids will be fighting and dying in war after war after war. That's the bosses' system needs those wars, and we got to get rid of it once and for all.
Get a march! Get a march! Get a march! Get a march! You liar! We'll set your ass on fire! Bush! You liar! We'll set your ass on fire! Bush! You liar! We'll set your ass on fire! Bush! You liar! We'll set your ass on fire! Racist cops get all scot-free! Racist cops get all scot-free! While workers live in misery! While workers live in misery! Racist cops must go to jail!
Okay, I can talk about police brutality. I went to Cincinnati after the police murdered Timothy Thomas, and the young people in that city rebelled.
When we went there, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if we were going to be labeled outsiders, and they didn't want our help. But when we got there and told workers from Cincinnati that we came from the Progressive Labor Party and that we were from Chicago and we were communists, each and every worker said, "Dang, thank you. You from Chicago? You came all the way here to support us and our struggle?" And they were so gracious and they were so happy. And it was so different from the Black Panthers that came and the NAACP that came, because when we came, we went right to the streets with our working class brothers and sisters. We went right to the neighborhood where Timothy Thomas was mowed down like an animal in the alley. We went right to the working class who suffers police brutality each and every day in Cincinnati. And they were honored, and they were glad, and they were gracious that our party came down to struggle with them, to help and support them in their rebellion.
Police brutality has to be protested like they did in Cincinnati. You know, more of that, and I was proud that our party went up there.
And top officials seem to close their eye to it. I have a closed ear, or they got their quote-unquote vicious code of silence in these police departments where they beat the victims and don't nothing be said, don't nothing be done. So we try to lay there and send a message, we ain't gonna take it. There's certain people ain't gonna lay down.
I'm here with a group of people from Far Rockaway today. One of the kids was a victim of police brutality. We had a great march through the neighborhood where they live, and a lot of the family came out today to take part in this march, because police brutality means fight back, and that's what they're doing today.
I'm from Boston, and about a month ago, one of our honchos was killed by the police. So my shout out would be to my people in Cambridge and the Cambridge ghettos around the world that this kind of thing needs to stop. And this is one way to start the ball moving.
As capitalism gets more fascistic, which means it's getting more into a period of crisis, the need for increasing police terror and brutality to intimidate and terrorize workers, particularly workers of color, becomes more important than ever.
Police brutality, I mean, these police, they don't care about any person of color, really. And to even further that, working class people. And I think it's sickening. And I think the police ride around like it's the Wild West and just randomly shoot, harass, beat up, commit evil. What can be done about it? think organizing is the biggest thing.
Police brutality is just on the rise. It's just running rampant. Listening to the mothers that got up there today speaking of their loss.
They alleged that Artie was pointing a handgun at them. Even with his hands behind his back, as he lay dying on the pavement, his hands were still behind his back. I live with this nightmare and horrific anguish every day. I would not be standing here now if I truly believed that killing my son was the only option for Officers Levitt and Cheney. Our son never lived to help me celebrate my birthday on the 19th of June. He never lived to see the full potential of what his Creator had designed for his life. And maybe in a way he did, because I'm told that God doesn't make mistakes. It is through this most difficult time in my life and the lives of the other mothers here today that we gain strength to accept our burden and to share our pain and in some way give comfort to the many mothers who have traveled down the same path. I could be every son's mother who happens to look like me. Let's vow today to do everything in our power to save our sons and to end racial profiling. Thank you.
We like to think that our mobilization and resistance has to some modest degree reduced the frequency of the police murdering young African American men.
One of the women we brought with us from Worcester, Elisa Quintanilla, her son was murdered by the police in Worcester 6 years ago, and there's still been no justice. They broke into their door, beat him up, beat up the women, and the women were so courageous they fought back, and what they had was a video camera, so they taped what they could, and the struggle still continues. So it really is same enemy, same fight. We just got to keep on struggling because this is just increasing, and it's just really horrible. And it really comes from capitalism. And as long as there's capitalism, human life will be cheap. So just fight harder, and I really encourage everyone to join PLP.
Just as an African American woman, I haven't been victimized as much, but I have brothers, I have cousins, and I have uncles that have been stopped, that have been taken to jail, that have been beaten by policemen just because they were black. That's it, no other reason. So it's really a really powerful statement here to participate, because that's one of their main focuses, especially with the backlash of what just happened in Cincinnati.
We led a march at the funeral as Kwame Nkrumah and the NAACP and all these MIS leaders came into the funeral, and they wanted to be there in the spotlight. Again, our party, with our revolutionary word that reforming the system of capitalism, to reform their cops, to get more black police superintendents is not the solution. That the only solution is a communist revolution to get rid of this system, to get rid of these racist cops, to get rid of these bosses. And again, the working class in Cincinnati said, thank you. That is what we need. We need a revolution.
I didn't really know much about May Day until my teacher told me about it, and I really like it.
What I like about May Day is that, first of all, it's one of the many times a year I get to see my whole family, and also it's just really great to see all the people on the side of the streets listening to you and hearing what you have to say.
Because I like to get out there, fight for what's right, fight for what I believe in.
what I've always liked about May Day is just, running to old friends and comrades that, you haven't seen for sometimes a year, who are fighting the same fight.
It's a really important day for everybody, especially for the young people, but we're here to support each other, and it's a great day. I love coming every year.
We're kind of nervous up here, so please excuse us. We're very nervous. Good morning, Revolution. You're the very best friend I ever had. We're going to pal around together from now on. Say, listen, Revolution. You know the boss where I used to work? The guy that gave me the ear to cut down expenses? Well, he wrote a long letter to the papers about you. He said you was a troublemaker, an alien enemy. In other words, a son of a bitch. He wrote a letter to the police and said, watch out for a guy named Revolution.
But me, I ain't never had enough to eat. I ain't never been warm in the winter, and I ain't never known security either. All my life, I've been living hand to mouth, hand to mouth.
This is a poem that I wrote, and it goes, somebody said, yeah, maybe it could be better, but it could be so much worse. I mean, like, you could be slaving in the diamond mines in Africa, or you could have bombs being thrown outside your house in Israel, or you could be dying from starvation in Asia. You could have gang lords controlling your life in Afghanistan, or you could be working in a sweatshop in Mexico. And then I said, well, you could be working in a sweatshop in LA. You could have guns being shot up and down your block. You could have lost welfare last Christmas and find it hard to eat. You could have cops controlling when and where you go with racial profiling, drug offenses which send you downstate 5 years, 10 cents an hour, all right outside your front door. Somebody said, well, don't you know the grass is always greener? Hell yeah, it's greener when you never had grass to begin with. When more money is spent on grass and flowers than youth in the city of Chicago. When 5% of the population control more than half of the nation's wealth. When you say what you say and I say what I say, but you don't have to worry about getting stopped by the cops on your ride home. Somebody said there will be adventures in capitalism, but all I see is a game for few, pain for many, and a structure set up to serve the sick. A game for few, pain for many, and a structure set up to serve the sick.
Today, there's another commodity that is just as important today as slavery was hundreds of years ago. It is a commodity that is literally the lifeblood of capitalism. It is a commodity that's almost like heroin to industrial capitalism. They have to have it. That commodity is oil. And for the last 50 years, much of U.S. politics and foreign relations has been about controlling and maintaining control of Middle East oil. Our task is to guarantee, as best we can, that people reject the move of the United States to preserve its empire, to fight for its empire, to suppress and terrorize and murder workers around the world. So, I'm almost done. So when the time comes, and the hardships are the worst, and the darkness is as great as it can be, we will know that our party and the people who make up our party will do the thing that they have to do. And a lot of us, our goal, of course, is communism. We hope to dismantle capitalism. We hope to have a world where the wealth is shared. We hope to take full advantage of the technology that humanity as a whole has given to us and turn the planet into the wonderful place it can be and make life great for the people here. And we will do that, and that is our goal. Many, if not most of us who are in this room today will not live to see this goal. But the goal is only part of it. The other part is a journey. And those who live their role in history to its fullest have lived the life the best they can. And that is what we have to do. We have to take the time that we live in now and seize the opportunities and live it to its fullest, so we can play our historical role and change the future. Join the rest of their party. Fight for communism. We have the world to win. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters.
I think people should come to this march because it's a very good experience, especially for young people like myself and like my friends.
I think coming to May Day is like the best event all year because you like really feel like a good bond with everyone. You're all out there marching. It's a nice day. Like you're chanting. You're getting out the newspaper. I don't know.
It's one of the holidays, if you will, that everybody is here, and you get a sense of how big it really is.
You know, we're the alternative to patriotism, and we have to open the working class's eyes. That's who we're trying to reach.
We want a world where everybody can live without wars and without unemployment and without oppression. And you're not going to get that under capitalism.
Do you have a final message for your friends at home about the importance of this march and whether or not they should attend next year's May Day march?
When you come to May Day, it's going to change your life.
You missed a great march. You missed an opportunity to be with your working class brothers and sisters around the world. And I hope the next year May Day takes place, you will be there as a participant so that you can feel as exhilarated as I do.
Yeah, I think everybody should come to May Day next year because it's a very exciting march. You need to just come out, have fun, and just to voice your opinion.
Yeah, if I get a copy of this video, man, I want to tell my friends they need to be coming next year. And I hope they come, man. They would love it, man. It's just everyone got obstacles, but if you can overcome them obstacles and come out to May Day, May 1st, Washington, D.C., you will love it. I love it every year I come, and mostly everyone does, you know, when they get a chance to come.
Don't be afraid to go against the grain. This system is not working for you. Although race plays a tremendous role in the way things work, really, if you don't organize and start to fight, you're going to be in for a big surprise because the very flag that you kiss is going to suffocate you.
I just hope that all my friends, many who have not been to May Day, show up next year at May Day.
It was great. You should have been here and definitely be here next year because this is a revolution that's going to be a success.
Of the world, here's the situation. Race is a figment of your imagination.